Attention, anybody who's ever had a conversation with a bank teller at a bank. We love what you do, Mr. and Mrs. Bank Teller. You help us at the bank when we need something. But you have to remember, you got to stay in your lane. I see bad advice from bank tellers all the time, and it can have not insignificant negative consequences, but we're talking huge negative consequences, astronomical negative consequences on how that account is titled and on your estate planning and on your assets. We'll walk through a couple of those. Hi, I'm Mike Massey. I've helped over 1,000 families with estate planning before and after death. We'd love to have a conversation with you. So you walk into a bank and the bank teller says, oh, why don't you just simply add your son to your account so that he can help you, so that we can give him information? And you say, oh, that sounds like a great idea. What are some of the problems that could go wrong with that? We'll talk about that. Another scenario. Bank teller says, well, you can just open up a new account with your children on it. That way everybody has access to the money to use for your benefit. Problematic. I recommend that no one ever open a bank account with their parent in almost all circumstances. So I have very few exceptions to that. Let's see what could possibly go wrong. A couple things. One, you put that kid's name on the account, it's considered a gift in the eyes of the IRS. You technically have to file a gift tax return, so you got to bring in your CPA or file the gift tax return yourself. If there's a tax due, you got to pay that tax. For most people, it's going to be a no gift tax due, but you still have to consider that, and you still legally have to file that gift tax return, or you got problems. Two, child goes AWOL and says, I'm going to take this money for myself. There's $50,000 in here. I haven't seen $50,000 in a while. I'm out of work. I need help. I'm just going to drain that account. Mom will forgive me. They take it. They have full rights and authority to do that because it's their money and your money, and they can just take it. That's a big problem. Number three, similar scenario, but that person has a drug or alcohol problem. They didn't mean to take the money. They just had to for their addiction. Gone. Another scenario, they get in a car wreck. They get sued. They get sued for $300,000, $1 million, whatever the number is. They can go and take that money out of your bank account because it belongs to your child as well. So it's subject to his creditors. Your child gets a divorce. Guess what? That could very well be part of the divorce because he owns it, and so it can go to his divorcing spouse. Don't you see that it could be there are so many different things that could go wrong to adding a child or a friend or someone, typically it's a child, people are adding to their bank accounts. So many things could go wrong. I didn't even bring in Medicaid issues. With Medicaid issues, if you're later in life and you need to qualify for a nursing home and they have the 5-year look back for gifts and stuff, bam. And if they get withdrawn as a joint owner and maybe go on a signatory power, you could have problems with that too. You want to make sure you do it exactly, precisely right, especially for Medicaid planning. Some people say, well, I don't keep a lot of money in my bank account. I only keep $10,000, $30,000, whatever that number is. But here's what happens. Then you have that kid on the bank account. You sell your home. You take your $500,000 home proceeds. You put them in that bank account that feels safe. You don't want to get in the stock market because it's scary at the moment. And then you die. Guess who that belongs to? It doesn't go to your will and then get distributed to your 3 kids, for example. It all goes to that one kid in most circumstances. So he gets everything. And you think, well, he'll share it with his siblings. Really? Because I know a lot of people who wouldn't. 2, if he gets that money and dies, that goes to his estate, his wife, his kids. He gets sued by a creditor. He gets sued and has a creditor. That money is subject to theirs. There are so many problems that you can't even think through. Just don't do it. Don't put your kid on a bank account unless you talk to an estate planning attorney. We'd love to have a conversation with you. I'm Mike Massey of Mike Massey Law. Look us up, Mike Massey Law, mytxwills.com.